Welcome back to WPC Ace playoff group stages. Oh boy, it continues on. I'm Zyori, now joined by Fogged. We've got DT versus Titan coming up. What's the good word, Fogged?
I don't know, man. I'm kind of giving this heavily in favor to Titan at this point, just from watching the way DT's been playing. I feel like they're just very sloppy, and it seems like they're really nervous.
I think so as well. DT, they kind of snuck in at the end to make it here to the playoffs, and Titan, their run in WPC looked a little bit better. Well, not flawless, but I think it's safe to say Titan are the favorites. But elimination isn't on the line. This group stage is for seeding, so that makes things a little more interesting. Maybe teams saving some of those pocket strats, and if you're going to experiment, this is the time to do it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, yeah, it's best of ones. Best of ones. These games don't really make the biggest difference right now. It just ends up just setting you up where you want to be later on in the tournament. So we'll probably just see these teams just sticking to their guns, not revealing anything new.
Well, let's check out the draft and see what these teams are cooking up for us here. We've got Titan with first pick Invoker and Dreamtime. They don't hesitate at all. They take the Darkseer as well as the Night Stalker.
Yep, Titan. They obviously, of course, Air probably his most known hero is Panda, so Titan doesn't even want to give them the chance of playing because they've seen sometimes Air actually majority of the time Air is an incredible micro Air and just snowballs and controls the whole game with that Panda, so not too much of a surprise to see them banning out that Panda. And as well as, I mean, Doom overall is just a very solid ban, and them actually getting the Invoker first pick is pretty favorable for them.
Yeah, a hero, definitely highly sought after hero. That's most likely your Yamate hero, NWP, and you're absolutely right about Air's Brewmaster. Brew, as well as Night Stalker, really his two signature heroes, I think, as we saw through the group stages in the Chinese qualifier for TI4. And oh, we get the cam. This is one of my favorites here, Fogged.
Yeah, I
like
love it.
Seeing the players' faces while they're drafting. It's good stuff.
I like seeing the map too. They just throw the heroes anywhere. They're like, yep, Invoker picked, he's going mid. Night Stalker picked, he's going mid. Darkseer off lane.
Yeah.
Nothing changed.
Yeah, it's interesting. The static map is always a lot of fun. And well, we get access to some stats here as well. Air 100% win rate on the Night Stalker in WPC. That's exciting.
So they won already.
Yeah, they've won. It's over. Perfect win rate. But not surprised to see some stats like that pop out. And there you go. Titan will second pick the Sand King, another one of their kind of signature heroes.
Yeah, Nat overall plays one of the better Sand Kings. Actually, I would say probably on the East Coast. He's had a few iffy games, but I'm East Coast, what am I saying? Whatever, man. But yeah. Overall, his play on Sand Kings is very solid. He finds opportunities, he gets early blink daggers, and he makes a lot of space for his team.
He just has a different play style. He really does hide in the trees. He sets up those traps, and he can be a little bit tricky. Every so often, you'll see him station about. And what's interesting about Net's play style is not that he hides in the trees, but he's really good at predicting where the movement is going to go. He'll set up shop in a place, sit there for a minute, and then all of a sudden you're wondering if he's AFK or what's going on, and then you understand what he's doing. You see that big epicenter come out. So always a fun hero-player combination. And like you said, no doubt we'll see a very fast blink dagger come out on him.
I do like this, what Dreamtime already has, though, as well. Darkseer Night Stalker brings a lot of early aggression, and of course you can just constant gank. And I think they're probably going to go for the Spectre, which we've been seeing them draft a lot, because they like... as soon as Spectre hits 6, and they just ultimate right away, and they gank a lane, they go straight to like 5 men into an enemy lane, basically with their Darkseer, and with the potential of Surge as well of Ion Shell on top of Night Stalker, and then you get the vision from the Spectre. You're able to just dive, and you can just easily 5 men and push a tower.
Okay, yeah, some nice synergy there. And here we get some stats for Net, 67% win rate. This one may be a little bit more useful than that Night Stalker win rate. I'm not sure how many games he's actually played Night Stalker. A grand total of 2 as we get confirmed here. So. I know Net has played significantly more Sand King than that. So man, look at those assists, average of 13 a game. Ouch.
Pretty ridiculous.
Yeah. Pretty absurd. Well, they'll ban out Ohio's Nature's Prophet here on the side of Dreamtime, and Titan will take out the Enchantress with their third ban.
Yep, not too much shocker. Banning out the Enchantress. Their first two heroes don't really defend towers the best at all. So. I mean, Dreamtime's been running a decent amount of the Enchantress. They just don't want that early aggression. And Invoker overall gets really punished throughout the entire game by an Enchantress. You can constantly gank him in the mid lane because Invoker needs those levels early on. He's very susceptible to early ganks. And then later on in the game, if he decides to go for this Exort type build, he can constantly be stealing the Necro Book and the Forge Spirits throughout the entire game.
Yeah, that's another little bit of synergy there that Enchantress has against the Invoker for sure. Dazzle will be the fourth ban coming out from Titan, another decently aggressive support, especially when paired with that Night Stalker. So, taking out some decent supports.
Yeah.
And we'll see where DT go from here.
Not too many odd bans coming out. I mean,
yeah,
they're just trying to stop the aggression. Dazzle overall is just an incredibly powerful hero, especially with the diving potential. If you have Weave with Night Stalker, you can just, you know, go all the way into their base and just be like, you can't kill me.
Night Stalker's already absurdly tanky, especially in the early levels. He has pretty high starting armor, but all right, that 4th ban anti-mage from Dreamtime looks like they were watching the last game, and, well, I don't know. Is the Titan anti-mage really something to be feared right now? It didn't look too fierce in that last match.
It looks like DT just doesn't want to risk. They want to have their Darkseer to have a decent time as well as not get split pushed. I mean, banning out the Fearin and the anti-mage, they want to just be able to solidify their idea of what they want. They want to be able to push the towers down easily and not have to worry about constantly have to go back and be like, crap, we're getting split pushed. What do we do now? Because Night Stalker, not really the best creep clearer.
That's true. But Ion Shell works okay to clear out those creeps, and slowly but surely. It will be a 3rd pick Rubik here for Dreamtime, so their first support coming online. Decent game for the Rubik so far. Sand King Invoker, 2 heroes with a lot of potent spells, but all around solid support pick. Can't be too surprised at seeing Rubik picked up here.
Yeah, it's a great pick. Great pickup overall. And a lot of people overlook the null field as well. It's very good versus Invoker and Sand King because, of course, you know, gives you magic resistance across the board on your heroes.
Yep, very true. So both teams taking their time here, drafting very cautiously, I suppose.
Yeah, it's like we were saying, the games aren't really the biggest deals. But now, actually, I didn't even notice this. Era is indeed 2-0 in WPC 2014 with Night Stalker, but he is 5-4 on all games of this patch for the Night Stalker. But he hasn't. I mean, he gets Panda the majority of the times, and they pick him Night Stalker, and some of the times it just ends up not really working out. And Titan does pick up Ancient Apparition here, and we do see this duo combo. A lot of the games, honestly, like Sand King AA, it's very, very powerful, of course, because Sand King stun is 2.17 seconds, and you can basically proc Cold Feet every single time, plus the bonus damage and everything. And no shocker there as well. DT picks up Super's Visage, which he plays. He plays pretty damn well, honestly. His micro with his birds he sends them all over the place, really, and he's obnoxious as hell too. He constantly backdoors the tier 1 towers with them.
Yeah. He has a very owie kind of play style with the Visage.
This is like the perfect setup for Spectre too. Yep. It looks like that's exactly what they're going for. I really don't see what else. And we used to see I think it was LGD last year run. I've said it before as well. The Darkseer Visage plus Spectre, because you can just Ion Shell the Spectre. You bring extremely early aggression, and this is just constantly going to have full soul assumption charges.
Yeah, and just so much vision here between the Night Stalker, if he eventually grabs an Ags, and you've got those mobile wards and the familiars, and if they do end up going for that Spectre, you've got the global presence for a little bit of additional scouting as well. So you can see that draft slowly coming together. You wouldn't think of it as a global draft, but definitely will have a fair bit of global presence. And you know, not surprised to see Ancient Apparition. The Asian team seem to value him a lot more than some of the other scenes. And we have seen that Ancient Apparition Sand King combo a lot out of Titan in particular because they do really love the Sand King. 4th pick, Elder Titan coming out. So we will get to see some ET, Natural Order, mixed with all this magic damage they've got putting out.
I'm trying to think. So they have we've seen this a couple times actually from, I think DT was one of the teams that ran it really well. They had Ancient Apparition with Elder Titan, then they had the Morphling. So when that Morph got that Ethereal Blade, he was able to just blow everybody up because everybody's at like complete negative resistances. So I feel like that's kind of what they're setting up for because Elder Titan as well has very good outspam.
Yeah, Morphling could work well here, really on both sides. If DT weren't going for Spectre, Morphling could be something they consider who is...
Instant pick that, yeah.
Oh, no, you were right. Okay, so we'll forget about that. Straight up Spectre. So maybe it will be the Morphling after all. Naga and Slark were the final bans from both teams here.
Let's see if I can predict this. I'll be pretty happy if I get that one too.
Yeah.
Come on. Give it to me, Titan.
25 seconds. Tick-tock goes the clock. What else could they do here besides a Morphling? I guess something like a Weaver could be okay. Nice synergy with the Ancient Apparition.
He kind of gets blown up, though.
Yeah.
And Night Stalker is pretty damn good versus Weaver. That silence is...
That's true. Yeah, silence is...
Do I dare say that it's crippling?
Whoa.
Crippling fear.
Whoa.
Whoa. Void. Okay.
Faceless Void.
Great combo. I mean, it's very good synergy as well with all of their heroes. I mean, this Invoker probably doesn't even have to go Exort if he doesn't want to. He can probably just go for the support type, you know, of course, Quasco X.
Yeah.
But it could... I mean, Exort's perfectly fine because of the global potential they have with the Ancient Apparition as well. But just great synergy right here with Void, Sand King, AA, and Elder Titan. You have to be really careful of getting caught with too many people in ultimate because you're just going to get completely blown up.
It'll be interesting to see how they build the Void in this game as well. If we see that really greedy kind of Hand of Midas into Battle Fury Turbo Farm style of play, or if they'll do something a little more early mid-game oriented. They have this setup where they could use that Chronosphere, and especially if they end up with an Exort Invoker, a lot of global presence, and probably pick up some kills early on. So
yeah, I think the Exort's probably the better pick here. Just Void can probably just solo Chronosphere people all over the place, plus the Sunstrikes. Easy kills. And who's
plus AA ult on top of that.
Let's take a look. Who's out Hexagon here? It looks like DT's out Hexagoned. Titan had a pretty good one.
Yeah, it was pretty. That was actually one of the bigger hexagons I've seen. So I don't know how statistically is it the size of the hexagon that matters or how you use it.
Wow, I haven't seen this Elder Titan set. That looks sick. That was the first thing I spotted when we came in.
Elder Titan does have some pretty cool cosmetics, I have to admit. The back piece on this one looks particularly cool, but
he looks pretty awesome.
The
not gonna
mythical crown, yeah.
Forger.
He's just an awesome-looking hero in general for cosmetics. So big and tanky.
Yeah.
Well, looks like super. He's gonna go take a break for some kale. Nothing like a kale smoothie break to get warmed up. I don't know.
Oh my god.
That is a pretty epic anvil, man. Look how big that thing is.
Yeah,
holy Toledo.
I haven't seen that set. That looks like one of my.
Jesus.
That can definitely be one of my favorites.
That thing's massive. Sets. How does he lift that thing?
Dude, he's
the size of his
He's the world
body.
forger, man. Yeah, dude, he made the world.
He made the world.
He did. That's the lore.
Okay, well then I guess he can handle an anvil that size.
Yep.
Well.
Let's introduce our players.
Introduce some players here. Yeah, you took the words right out of my mouth, man. On the dire side, we've got DT, Dreamtime, in July, going to be playing on the Darkseer. XDD will be the position 1 Spectre, Air, playing on, presumably, the solo mid Night Stalker. Super on his signature support Visage. And last but not least, we've got Dreamy U, playing on the Grand Magus Rubik.
Yep.
And
I'm just taking a glance at some items really quickly.
Yeah.
Air actually opts to go for a stout shield right away, so it's.
Do you want to introduce Titan?
Yeah, sure, I'll introduce Titan too. Fine, you know what? So we have we have NWP playing up on the Invoker solo mid. We have X playing Ancient Apparition down in the bottom lane. We have Net playing his basically one of his favorite heroes, the Sanking. We have KYXY playing the hard lane carry, the hard carry Void, and we do have Ohio playing that beautiful Elder Titan.
The beautiful Elder Titan, indeed. So let's see how these lanes will settle down here. Looks like it could potentially be an aggro try from DT. They've got 5 invading down, and we'll see how it settles down. Looks like they do want to at least throw a couple of wards down.
Yeah, they definitely want to block out some camps because they don't want to give Sanking just free reign of pulling, getting levels all over the place, stacking camps. I don't think we're going to be seeing them go for an aggressive tri lane. They're probably just going to let In July bully them a bit. And Ion Shell's pretty damn annoying if you're a melee carry. And they dedicate 3 wards down there right away.
Yeah. 2 obs and a sentry right there in the pole camp. So, well, fair bit of vision for the dire side. They'll at least have vision of that bottom rune. And we'll see how Titan react if they've got the counter wards to deal with this. It will not be an aggro try, though. In July, we'll be in the off lane on the Darkseer. They'll go up in defensive try with the 2 supports and the Spectre. And then, of course, it will be the Night Stalker in the mid. First rune spawn will be up top. And it's an invisibility. Dreamy U going to start off a little sneakier than usual. They will.
That is Yamate on the Invoker, right?
Yes, sure. NWP.
I said NWP. I just I derped a little bit.
That's Yamate. It's all good.
Net actually does get one of those obs wards taken out. He does sentry near their the big camp, so they don't have rune vision on the side of DT, as well as the fact that that big camp will be spawning for them. But the pull is going to be blocked, and Titan's 2 supports really do need their levels, and they're not really the best movers. Sanking does have boots, so he is going to be able to rotate a little bit, but will it end up working out for him?
Yeah. Well, Elder Titan in the off lane. Radiant side makes things a little bit easier for him. At least he'll leech some experience. There's some kill potential with this tri lane, and they'll go right into it. Telekinesis back. He already gets the Spectral Dagger slow, but they just don't have the damage to bring him down. Or do they? They'll dive it and won't commit all the way. 50 health. He'll survive. DT already off to an aggressive start here in the top lane.
Yeah. Lane's going to push into DT, so...
No salve.
Yeah, they don't have...
That hurts.
Yeah, that hurts, but I actually like it when supports don't have salves. I find it pretty worthless when they have the salves and then they just don't even use it, and you see them just like sell it later on.
Yeah.
So I'm a big fan of not buying the salves up. And as well, you know, people are pooling all over the place, so you want to be able to get your TP scroll relatively early or boots on a support. It's pretty damn important.
Well, Darkseer, he'll go ahead and sack the offlane already. Dire side makes that a little more difficult, so he'll stack up this hard camp. He gets himself a Wild Wing Ripper and Hellbear Smasher, and he'll start chipping away at those with his Ion Shell. I think the smart play here, at least get his farm rolling early on. It's not like he'll be able to do much to contest the farm from Void anyhow. So
it looks like Titan is well aware of what Darkseer's doing, though. They don't see him in this bottom lane at all, and they're just pressure in the tower already. They were just right-clicking the creeps with the Ancient Apparition in the lane. So they're going to try to pressure this lane very heavily and force the Darkseer to react, which is probably going to work really well for them. They do have the pull as well as their jungle camp, so Sanking can start stacking up and doing some jungling if he wants to, as well as putting pressure on that bottom tower.
Yeah, an interesting stat there about Titan's aggression, averaging the second highest average kills per game, second only to Mao's. So, all right, well, hopefully aggression heats up here in this match. 2 minutes in, Illusion Rune spawns top. It will be Ohio on Elder Titan to waddle his way down and pick it on up. What is that courier, by the way? I don't think I've ever seen this one. Justin Beaver. Oh, I've heard about this courier. Nobody uses it.
That's ownage.
Poor Justin Beaver. Doesn't get any love.
It's so cute.
It's pretty adorable.
It's kind of ugly, whatever.
His log mobile, Flintstone in it.
Darkseer makes his rotation down toward bottom. He's getting relatively close to that soul ring. He's got his level 3, so level 2 Ion Shell's pretty obnoxious, puts a little bit of pressure onto KYXY. But Net actually, they bought 4 sentries, but he found every single one of the wards from the side of DT. So his jungle is completely open to him. Looks kind of funny on the map, though.
Yeah, it sure does. I guess worth it to throw down all those sentries. The first one in particular blocking that rune vision, but now they know the Darkseer is completely blind. They also have a lane ward down on the Radiant side, so they are ready to put some pressure on this Darkseer if he steps a bit too far forward.
Yeah, and Ohio he got that mid lane.
Whoa,
wow.
First blood coming out in the mid lane. Yamate will pick it up on the Night Stalker.
Wow. That's pretty hard to get those type of kills with the Sunstrike, but I guess Air was playing a little bit too far up. But I was going to point out the fact that Ohio actually grabbed that Illusion Rune top, and he cut the creep wave and pulled it all the way behind his tower, so he was able to now secure himself his level 3 as well. I think a boots. Okay, he got his boots and a clarity now as well.
All right. Elder Titan well on his way here. 6 last hits under his belt relative to the 12 of the Darkseer. So both offlaners actually doing reasonably well. The position 1's actually not farming so evenly. Spectre almost 10 CS behind the Void already. And that's a little bit surprising. Maybe last hitting under the tower a little more difficult than XDD was ready for, but Void is in free farm heaven, just racking him up in the bottom.
Yeah, Spectre's not really the easiest to last hit with, but he definitely should have a bit higher than that. He hasn't really been pressured too much by the Elder Titan, but they did go for that early kill attempt, so maybe it slowed him down a bit right there.
There will be a Hand of Midas coming out for the Void here straight away, and it's going to be a fast one. Looking at about a 5-minute Midas or so. I don't know if he has his gloves quite yet, but the recipe has already been picked up, so Void's farm will certainly be on point this game.
Yeah, and I really would like to see him go for the Midas into even like an Ags Rush, because the potential with their team, he can constantly just be blowing ultimates on one person, and AA, once he gets his 6, will always have the ultimate at the same time as the Chronosphere is up, as well as the Sunstrikes, which we were saying earlier. So he can just constantly be using it and finding kills all over the place. And in July, stepping up a little bit too far right now. I mean, he might actually get caught out.
They'll use that lane ward to their advantage. Net coming forward. Burrow Strike will be on the money. Sunstrike coming through. Cold Feet. Time walk forward. And in July will take a spill. KYXY secures the last hit. Meanwhile, in the mid, looking for a dive on Yamate, perhaps. He'll throw out a cold snap onto Air, and he will repel. But that pushes Titan ahead now, 2-0 as we pass that 5-minute mark.
Yeah, very important kills, too. Yamate didn't get the kill, but it's perfectly fine because KYXY ended up getting it, and he finished up his Midas.
Yeah, and Yamate in some trouble here. He'll get telekinesed back. There's the silence coming out. He's low on mana, nowhere to go, and he will fall. Rubik's the one to pick up that last hit. Net TP's in, no mana for the Burrow Strike, and won't be able to keep
Ohio actually getting some pressure on top. XDD might actually be able to kill him here with these phase boots. One more hit, but nope, he gets away.
Yep, won't dive it. There's a point in dispersion already.
That as well, getting dove in mid lane, but nope. Air did not have the mana to dive him.
Dives all over the place.
Aggression all over. Yeah. I like it a lot.
Oh, Sunstrike. I hear it. Oh, whoa, what a close call. Dreamy U walks away by the skin of his teeth.
Whew, that was blind, too.
Yeah.
Yamate's
good guess.
Feeling ballsy.
Noble. He was in the well, so not too risky.
Yeah.
Basically a free Sunstrike. He will be looking at a Hand of Midas, pretty standard on your Exort Invoker there. About 800 gold in the bank with Gloves of Haste already picked up. So well on his way. It will be a double Midas for Titan, so they will have those farm accelerators. And they're up to a pretty good start here. Void still way out farming that Spectre. 42 relative to the 27 of XDD.
Yeah, I feel like in July should really Air is actually rotating toward this bottom lane. I was going to say they should bring some aggression toward in July very soon. If not, he should be going into the jungle because he should know that Sanking should be stacking. So he can actually get an enormous amount of farm if he finds one of those stacks with Ion Shell. KYXY getting gone on bottom. Spectral right away. Like I said, they want to just always bring the aggression with it right away. And he is silenced, and he's going to go down.
Oh, so close. That silence just expiring, hoping to time walk into the trees, but won't be able to make it happen. And DT get a much-needed kill on that hard-farming Void. That will tie it up 2 apiece, and now DT may start chipping away at this tower a little bit. It is a 4-hero rotation, Super left all alone in the top lane, but they are ready to start hitting this tower.
I kind of feel like, I mean, I was able to call it out pretty effectively like throughout the draft what their idea was going to be. Like once the Spectre hit 6, they were going to right away bring the aggression into the short lane of Titan. So I feel like they should have been a little bit aware of that if they wanted to be. So a little bit of a, I guess, a bit misplay by Titan, but DT just great movement overall. Yeah,
and Void, now level 6, has his Chronosphere available. So we may see the aggression get turned up a little more by Titan, setting up some of that global presence. Ancient Apparition, not quite 6 yet, is sitting only level 4, so he can assist on that front, but will be able to eventually. How's Sand King doing in the jungle there? I see he's having that sandstorm. Yeah, Doo-Doo doing it up. 900 gold in the bank at 7.5 minutes. Actually a little bit slow for net. Maybe usually like about a 9-minute Blink Dagger, I would say, is around average for him, but didn't get too much done in that early game. Maybe not as much as he would have liked, so it will be delayed at least a 10 or 11-minute Blink Dagger, I think, coming out.
Yeah, it was pretty unfortunate for him that he tried to port mid to just like make them back up off of Yamate, but he ended up just wasting his time there, and Yamate went down, and he actually missed, I think, one of his stacks. So he got a little bit under-leveled, and he didn't get the stack off.
Air with an invisibility rune on. He'll engage onto Ohio up top. Spectral Dagger comes flying through. He'll try and just TP home, but it's not happening. The Soul Assumption's there. Super will secure that kill. 3-2 here at the 8-minute mark.
Yeah. Ancient Apparition as well, stacking camps for his Sand King buddy. And that just will continue jungling. He actually picks up the 3rd level in Sandstone, which I like. And a Sunstrike comes out, but not going to go on anybody. That was a full health Rubik.
Yep. Double damage rune does spawn at the bottom position. It does get pinged out by the Radiant side here, so maybe someone will pick it up. It will actually be Rubik who waddles down and snags it. Yamate now has his Hand of Midas up as well. So the double Midas here are in full effect, and both Void and Invoker just farming away to their heart's content.
One of my bigger worries right now for Titan, even though they do have enormous lead on their net worth right now, gold. Getting there already. Like early on in the game, that's really good for them. But Ohio's having a pretty hard time in this off lane. He's died once, and he's only level 4 compared to this Darkseer, who's level 7, and he's on his way toward his mech.
Yeah, and that's that difference with Darkseer. Just moved into the jungle early on. We talked about it. He hit level 3 nice and early, got that Soul Ring up, and then he had that luxury of moving into the lane, having Surge up at his disposal, and it's just worked out well for him. Spectre not going for a Radiance first. Looks like he'll invest in a Vanguard, perhaps. Has himself that Ring of Health, so...
I'm not going to say how much I hate that item, so...
Are you also on the hate train? You and Merlini on the same wavelength with Spectre Vanguard?
It's really all because of AUI when I used to play with him. He was like, it's the most inefficient item to get. And Air getting gone on with the Sunstrike, but no, he's really tanky there. It's going to be really tough to bring him down without a rotation. And I was going to point out KYXY's build also. He actually opted for the max backtrack this game. So he wanted to just be able to stay in his lane and sustain it because of the double pressure from the Ion Shell.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Pretty effective, I guess.
It's okay. It's not really going to help him either, but...
I mean, you know, Titan obviously are not looking to fight right now. They've got 2 Hands of Midas, Sand King getting that 3rd point in Sandstorm. They just want to farm. They know what they want to do, so they can afford to go those slightly more defensive kind of PvE styles of build, or styles of play. Even Sand King here opting not to grab Epicenter. They're just going to be farming up, so not surprised to see Void going for more of a defensive build here.
Yeah, I mean, they don't really even need the Epicenter right away once he gets his Blink Dagger, because with the Blink Stun and a Sunstrike, anybody's basically going to be dead.
Yeah, if you have a Cold Feet nearby on top of that, yeah, easy kills. So Air will grab another rune here at the 10-minute mark, just filling up that bottle left and right. Is an illusion this time around. Blink Dagger now up on the Sand King, so he will grab it right around the 10-minute mark, and we'll get it delivered once he gets access to the courier, just now hitting level 7. So he is in pretty darn good shape. Ohio will rotate towards the mid lane to get a little bit of solo experience as Invoker heads top.
KYXY doing something really smart here. He's just rotating to the jungle, and he's going to jungle for a bit and let his Ancient Apparition farm his 6 down bottom. He was actually pinging the lane for him to just stay down there and get those last hits.
Yeah, double rotation on that front and getting that much-needed experience on the 2 heroes we were just talking about, lagging behind a little bit. And getting that Ice Blast online will definitely be huge for Titan. Should they need to take a fight, or if DT crank up the aggression, they can at least throw some damage into that Chronosphere. Looks like DT will get aggressive, though. Dreamy, you and Air smoked up on the dire side of the map, rotating down towards the bottom lane. Looks like they see Ancient Apparition in their sights, and they'll try and bring him down. Vanguard now picked up on Spectre as well.
Yeah, I'm not gonna. He had like full free farm, but I guess he feels like Titan's gonna bring a lot of aggression because that's basically Titan's bread and butter. And we do see Ancient Apparition ult flying up top, as well as bottom getting engaged on as well.
Yeah, Ancient Apparition in big trouble. He'll get Telekinesis. He'll be the first to fall. Meanwhile, in the top lane, Visage will get picked off, so it's a support for support trade across the map, and now both teams will translate this into a tower push. Glyph comes out on the Radiant side, and that will delay the pressure, but won't stop it, and I think same story will happen for Titan up here. Should just be a tier 1 for tier 1 exchange. Pretty even across the board.
Yep. And, I mean, the Vanguard, I guess, can work if they decide to just 5-man and pressure towers a lot, but their lineup isn't really the best at pushing towers at all.
Yeah, the Vanguard isn't all bad. I think it just doesn't fit into the playstyle of this game. Maybe DT just want to be aggressive and really capitalize on the peak of that Night Stalker. It does make Spectre pretty tanky and gives him this window where he really can come to fights, even though he doesn't hit particularly hard. But they need to fight. I feel like they need to make kills to make up for not going for that fast Radiance and having some more farming utility.
Yep, air popping that darkness, so nighttime for about 25 seconds here, and they're just trying to keep a little bit of aggression in the enemy jungle.
Yep. And Darkseer has now completed his mech as well. So great timing on that, and more evidence that DT will want to crank up the aggression. A great item if you want to fight here in the mid-game. Yamate gets initiated upon, telekinesis into silence. He won't go down quite yet. Rubicon should be the first to fall. Sand King comes in, can't save the Invoker. It's a 1-for-1 trade, and KYXY pops the Chronosphere, connects with the feud, and the Night Stalker falls. Out comes the Earth Splitter. That's enough to secure the kill on the Spectre. Now in July, on the run, it's a 2-for-3 exchange, and that's where it'll settle down. Titan make the defense.
Yeah, and KYXY is going to be opting for that Ags Rush, so he is going to be going for constant aggression with those AA ultis flying on top. Because they basically share the same exact cooldowns. And of course, with the Sunstrike coming in on top, he's going to be able to find solo kills, well, not solo kills, of course, because he's getting other people, but yeah, it's just, I think it's the perfect item choice. And taking a look at the team fight recap, it went in favor of Titan because just a little bit over-ambitious from DT, diving in tier 2 like that.
Yep, for sure. Hoping it would just be an easy kill on the Invoker, but honestly, they just didn't have the burst to bring him down. If they were a little more bursty, they could have just dropped him and then perhaps made it out. Here's our replay coming from the Chinese stream. So just a well-placed Chronosphere. Traps net in the fray, but secures those 2 kills, and just well done overall.
Yeah, it really was. I mean, but Darkseer wasn't even able to do anything. He was just standing on the outskirts of it. Mid lane getting gone on, and the damage is ridiculous.
Yep. Will he shatter is the question.
No,
it's
he's
not looking
fine.
like it. Yeah, wow, that's a low HP pool he's got there, so not even close to enough damage.
Yeah, but the Astral Spirit, well, the Natural Order on top of it is just really nice, and they're able to set up a lot of kills just with, you know, AA and Sunstrike, like I was saying before. And I mean, Yamate is going to be extremely overleveled.
DT getting aggressive here. They will smoke up and rotate through the jungle towards the mid lane. Night Stalker with the regeneration rune in the bottle could come in handy in this fight. There's your haunt from the Spectre. They'll find the Ancient Apparition, and he will be the first to fall. Now where are they going to go? Titan with a good Delta split. They won't make an easy initiation for him, and it looks like no one else will get caught out. Invisibility rune does spawn up top, and that may assist Titan a little bit here as they try and make their escape.
Oh, Air's in a bad
strike
spot.
onto Air. Out comes the Epi, and yeah, more than enough damage to bring him down. The Sand King will fall as well. Yamate now stuck between a rock and a hard place. He gets dropped by the Visage. In comes Ohio, and trying to do what he can, but he'll be forced to retreat. Yeah, won't be able to keep his buddy alive, and actually kind of disastrous for Titan. Netbuy's back here as well. Oh no.
At the same time, though, KYXO was just farming the whole time. It was a bit of a strange engage with him, but oh, AA flying through. Maybe it's gonna get in July. Oh, but he didn't actually scout him.
Oh, close call. He does get clipped by it, but yeah, not enough damage unless he takes a lot from these neutrals. Now he'll surge away, being very cautious not to shatter here. So yeah, kind of odd positioning from Titan. They tried to minimize their losses and just sacrifice their AA, but once the Invoker as well as the Sand King got stuck above the Ancients, they really had nowhere else to go, and it turned into a Titan sandwich. So rather disastrous what you said. Void still farming away, #1 on net worth by a pretty big margin. And we do see a Necro Book level 1 now out on Yamate's Invoker.
Yeah, and the scary thing is that DT need to force a lot. Even though they do have a Spectre, look at bottom lane's about to get gone on. Air's going to go down here for sure.
Yep, he gets caught in the Chrono. Ice Blast comes flying in, and they won't have the damage. Meanwhile, up in the top lane, Invoker does secure a kill onto the Visage. Looks like net connected with a Burrow Strike here as well. So they still do find a kill across the map, but not the one we were looking at.
Yeah, I thought he was actually going to Sunstrike. I didn't see that they were engaging on top as well, so he didn't have the Invoke ready for that Sunstrike. So a little bit overambitious by KYXY, but either way, they do get a kill on the Visage, which is very good for them.
And a small net worth lead here for Titan. Not a huge amount, but as you mentioned, Spectre is the kind of ultimate hard carry, but he doesn't have those farming tools. So
and versus a Void too.
Yeah.
So he's like, Void is basically like one of the best late gamers, and as well as he's gonna have such an early Ag Scepter, so constantly having that Chronosphere up is just so much pressure, and just all throughout the game, it's like I don't know how DT plans on breaking the high ground ever.
Yeah, and that takes. Is it a 60-second cooldown when you get the Ag Scepter? Yep. That is ridiculous, or as Suns fan would say, a little bit redonk. KYXY could be in some trouble here. Telekinesis coming out from the Rubik to start things off. He'll get telekinesed back into the Ion Shell. We'll just try and TP home. Vacuum to interrupt it. Illusory Wall used as well, and they secure that kill. And well done by DT.
And Rubik snatches the Chrono in the meantime.
Oh,
so
very nice.
Yeah, DT just really needs to be finding constant kills here. But at the same time, they're going to get split pushed pretty hard from this Exort Invoker because he's got his book 1 up, and he's on his way toward his book 2.
And look at Net just hiding in the trees there. They're setting the trap.
Oh, Hyo might go down solo to Super right now.
Uh-oh.
Oh, 4 HP! The last Visage hit.
Yep.
They do clean up the 2 birds.
But yeah. Small pick-me-up there. Still, Elder Titan taking a spill. A little bit of space created to pressure that top tier 2 tower, though I don't think they'll have the damage to bring it down. So DT actually picking up some momentum here. It looked like Titan were the ones grabbing the momentum early on, but with a couple of kills on the Void, see that net worth holding steady at least. 3,000. Nothing insurmountable here, Fog.
Yeah, I'm glad to be watching Super get solo kills like that, though. He's got his point booster finished up already on that Visage, so he's probably going to get a decently early Ag Scepter coming online. And we don't really see these Chinese teams really go for that. They usually go for more utility, like a Force Staff.
Yeah.
But he's finding a lot of farm.
Yeah, for sure. And Spectre actually not too far away from his relic, but Net, yeah, Epicenter charging. He'll go straight on to XDD. NWP coming on in. Deafening Blast. AA ulti for good measure. They won't even need it. And Spectre will take a tumble. He's got 2,600 gold in savings. So
Rubik wants to use this Chrono. Net's running all the way, and he blinks away.
Yeah, he'll TP out. So anyhow, before that gank, I was going to say Spectre, he's still well on his way to a decently timed Radiance if things keep up, but they'll gank him and slow that timing down even more. So both teams doing a good job just pressuring the opponent's carries.
One thing I'm a little bit confused by is Elder Titan's actually going for a Force Staff right away instead of getting a mech for his team. So I guess he's... I usually actually see them just go for mech basically every time they play any offlane here, and he actually opted for Tranquil Boots as well.
Yeah. Again, I think it has something to do with Titan not being too eager to take fights, but now they've got Epicenter online, they've got those core items. A mech would really come in handy since they've been taking these little skirmishes. They will deny the mid-tier 1 tower, they being DT, so tower edge now going way in favor of Titan. Actually, nope, just 1 tower. I lied. 1 tower advantage for Titan here.
Yeah, and this is why I didn't really like the Vanguard, because it's like it's not gonna save you. If you get gone on, you're gonna basically die. And Super's taking a lot of pressure.
Sunstrike! Oh, it'll be on the money. Whoa, well done by Yamate, just baiting around with the Forge Spirits.
So obnoxious.
Yeah. Look at that.
Full Ag Scepter coming down to KYXY. So it's 19-minute Ags.
Status alive.
Status alive. Oh, nice. We got the. It's not status dead anymore.
I like that. So there you go. Ag Scepter at the ready. Chronospheres aplenty will be coming out for Titan. They're smoked up and they're looking for blood.
They want this bottom tower.
They sure do.
Titan, wow, AA is also pretty farmed. He's got his own point booster on him now, too, so he's on his way toward his Ags. As
Sand King working on a Force Staff. He's got himself that Staff of Wizardry already. It looks like Darkseer will try to come to this tower's defense. In July, has himself up a Blink Dagger as well. Big creep wave shoving into the tower. Smoke will expire reasonably soon.
Don't do it in July. Uh-oh. Rubik, you're in a horrible place, man.
Oh, he gets caught by the Burrow Strike. AA ulti as well. That is a dead, dreamy you. And with that, Darkseer will hop back to safety. Time walk forward from KYXY, but won't be able to trap him in the Chrono. It will be a tier 1 for tier 1 exchange. DT did finish off that tier 1 tower in the mid lane, and XDD is pressuring top. So Titan find the better of the trade, but whoa, XDD now caught inside the Chronosphere. Sunstrike will fly through. It'll do a lot of damage. Net comes in with the Burrow Strike, and they will be able to bring down XDD. Tankier than we thought, but he does fall. Like you were pointing out, the Vanguard delayed the inevitable only.
Yep, he's on his way toward his Relic, but it's 20 minutes in and he's not going to have his Radiance for quite a while. Even if he picks up that Relic, they can just keep ganking him because Chronosphere is going to always be up. Look, he just used it and it's 35 seconds, so he's able to just run around and find, like I said, just blow the Chrono on basically 1 hero every single time.
Yeah.
Invoker finishing up that Book 3, very early for him, 20 minutes with that Midas.
And Ancient Apparition, he's well on his way. That Ag Scepter, only 1,300 gold off. Elder Titan's Force Staff just about to be completed as well. Looks like in the bottom lane, Invoker could be in a bit of trouble. Dreamy U initiating here with the Telekinesis. Night Stalker coming around the backside, pops the ulti, but Yamate will move in the right direction.
Dreamy U, watch out. That A ult might catch you, Dreamy. And, it does. He might actually
will
go.
Shatter here?
It's only a level 1 ulti, but the Sunstrike.
Oh, the Sunstrike should be enough.
Damn.
There
Yamate.
you go. And even the summons were right there. If that Sunstrike wasn't on the money, they might have had enough to force the shatter. So great coordination from Titan. And Yamate's been doing a great job with these summons. He's had them in the right place at the right time consistently. Very active with the Forge.
Look at Super with his versus birds. He actually loses one to the tower top, but he's constantly just trying to pressure them, at least trying to relieve a little bit of pressure off his team. But I just don't see this going well for DT at all. I mean, they're not going to be able to do anything until that Radiance is online, and their farm is just going to completely slow down. Night Stalker's falling off basically entirely. Found a couple kills during some of the nights, but it's just a Night Stalker. He's going to have a BKB. It's like, what do you really do when you have it? You just walk in and you're like, I'm yellow.
Yeah, that's the problem with Night Stalker. He doesn't scale that well with items relative to a lot of other carries. He needs to have a big presence in the mid game, and it hasn't been tiny, but it also hasn't been huge. So he will start to fall off, and that's where Spectre will have to start picking up the slack. Almost 3,800 gold up on XDD, so that will be a relic in the inventory pretty soon here. Will that be enough, though? That relic or that Radiance timing not looking so fresh here. Maybe 26 minutes-ish, depending on how this next team fight goes for DT.
I don't see it going into their favor. I mean, Epicenter is going to be up in about 10 seconds. They've got basically the majority of their core items up, and now Chronos... Oh, he leaps in and tries to go for the Chrono, but they back up on time.
Yeah, just looking for the opening here. Void can afford to be...
They have vision of everybody.
Haunt to start things off. Which one will he hop to? Or will he hop to one at all?
Net might be in trouble, actually.
Vacuum, he gets 4-stab back. He'll Burrow Strike. He's in some trouble. Silence comes out. But there's your Earth Splitter. AA ulti. In comes KYXY with the Chrono. Connects on two. He doesn't save the Sand King, but Spectre falls. Air in big trouble. The BKB not enough to keep him alive. Or will it? He will fall. Rubik also got picked off in the mix. It will be a 1-for-3. Now Super in July in full retreat. There's your defensive surge back. And I think the Darkseer will be okay. Super. Yep, he'll make it back to safety as well. So
will he go for the Sunstrike? Yamate's been completely on point with these, so if he does have it up, I wouldn't blame if he goes for it, but he actually doesn't.
Needless to say, great team fight for Titan right there, continuing to pick up a lot of momentum, and once again, further slowing down that Radiance timing for the Spectre. And looking at the team fight recap, huge swing of momentum, about 3,000 gold in terms of net worth change in favor to Titan.
Yeah, and even though the Spectre did finish up his relic, like I said, I mean, even once he gets that Radiance.
As well. If you want to take a peek, great setup. Net almost survives here. He gets scooted back, but the Fade Bolt from Rubik to finish him off around the backside. And Air's BKB just didn't do enough.
Yeah, he just gets caught in the Chrono, and he just goes down anyway. Yamate finishes up his Boots of Travel, so he's just going to be able to constantly be pushing out all the lanes and be able to join his buddies whenever he wants to. Yeah.
Absolutely. Good item pickup on the Invoker for sure.
Game looking pretty rough for DT.
Yeah, looking at the net worth chart, that is scary. Invoker and the Faceless Void, the two Midas carriers, top of the charts by a huge margin. The Void's about 50% ahead of the Spectre, and that's just scary. There's no other way to put it, I don't think. And
it's so nice about, like, Titan just doing so much aggression with the Void, just constantly having that Chronosphere up. His AA is just able to just farm all the time in this game, and he's going to have his Ag Scepter before he even hits level 11. And XDD might get got on right now, and a blast. Cold snap.
Ice Blast does connect. They might have the damage to bring him down. So many summons. The Meatball flying from the high ground, and that'll be a deafening blast to take him down. Yamate tries to TP home, but that might not happen. It'll get interrupted, and he will fall. The Stolen Deafening Blast to soften him up, and that'll be 850 gold going the way of the Night Stalker.
It's okay. He got his Midas off before he died.
Oh, that's good.
Value Midas.
Yep, there you go.
And that, look at Net's positioning. This is what we were talking about earlier too. And he puts down this extremely aggressive ward. And he's now epiing. Super's gonna go down.
Sorry, Super. Wrong place, wrong time. Time walk forward as well. And that is one dead Visage. Bottom tier 2 tower taking heavy damage. Air looking to find some initiation, but I don't know how easy this will be for him. Visage Bird's coming in. There's your Chronosphere. And that's a dead Dreamy U. So no steal for Rubik this time. Earth Splitter flies through as well. Now in July comes in. Silence out onto Net from the Night Stalker. He'll force staff into the trees. Air gets surged up, and Net being very elusive here now moves into the do-do-do. Can they keep him alive? Oh, the Echo Stomp just not enough. Doesn't stop that Ion Shell from doing damage. Ohio TP's home. KYXY looking to make the escape as well. Time walks into the trees, and he'll make it out. That Visage Familiar flying overhead, but they won't be able to scout him out in time.
Yeah, and I don't know how the hell they're gonna kill that Void now. He's got BKB online. He's 1,800 HP on a Void at 26 minutes in. Usually you see more of a Glass Cannon type build, but with that Ags as well as the BKB and Strength Treads, he's immortal.
Yeah, pretty much. They're very elusive in that fight, and Net really did a good job there. Almost was able to survive. I don't think Titan could have done much more. any other situation there, and that Echo Stomp might have been enough, but the Ion Shell proves effective.
Very good versus heroes that when you're just standing there.
Nothing like that. Yeah, seriously. Nothing like that 26-minute mech, though, coming out on the Elder Titan following the Force Staff. So
yeah, it's probably a fine pickup. I don't know if they even, like, the mech might have saved, like, one person, maybe two people. Like, Force Staff basically does the same thing, like, if you're really thinking about it, I guess, in that sense.
Yeah, 2 big utility items, so will come in handy now. XDD has his relic in just about enough. 26 minutes, 27 will be the moment of glory here for XDD. Will the Radiance be enough, though, Fogged? I feel like DT are far enough behind that even though it's a good farming tool, XDD is still so vulnerable in these team fights.
Yeah, he's constantly just going to get blown up no matter what he does, really. I mean, Radiance, he might be able to find some, like, solo pickoffs with, like, the Night Stalker, but...
Okay,
yeah,
actually only 4 minutes behind the average. I didn't realize the average was so... okay, Vanguard into Radiance. I was going to say, there's no way the Radiance average is 22. So, okay, that's solid-ish.
Oh, XCD's going to get caught out here.
Oh, yeah, there's your Bro Strike to get things started. Earth Splitter flying through, and it will connect. More than enough damage to bring him down. Yeah, there we go. Familiars and... Pardon me, not Familiars. The Forge Spirits will finish him off. They will pay with their lives, but a worthy exchange for Titan is Yamate. Picks up another kill.
Yeah.
So, exactly as we were talking about, Spectre still gets blown up.
Yeah. I mean, at least he got his Radiance, though.
Oh, an Ag Scepter out on the Ancient Apparition. He's also now level 11. This is a scary item, hero, spell combo. Oh, man. This is when AA starts doing absurd amounts of damage.
I don't even think he needs it, really. But, I mean, why not, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yep. Invoker picks up his ultimate orb. He's got his level 17 now, so he's got his max invoke, and he's just gonna. He feels pretty comfortable in just solo pressuring lanes.
Mm-hmm.
He might get gone on here though, bottom.
Yeah, there's a wraparound coming from the Rubik, I think. Yeah, Dreamy U around the backside does have his Force Staff at the ready, and he will hop forward.
Dreamy U's gonna die to the summons.
Telekinesis. Wow, look how much damage he's taking. He'll telekinesis him back. Dreamy U just about to fall. Literally from summons alone, moving towards the Ancients, and Ice Blast won't be on the mark. Guessing he was going into the Roche Pit for a deny, but now Elder Titan comes in, and a Haste Rune for Dreamy U. A stroke of luck, but Yamate just standing at the high ground.
Miss!
And oh, the low ground miss. Dreamy U.
Tornado!
You bandit.
Oh my god.
Just barely falling short. Dreamy U. I think slippery snake indeed.
I don't know what Yamate was looking at there. He just stood there without hitting him. He cold snapped him extremely late too. So I guess he was looking somewhere else on the map trying to set up a Sunstrike kill, but
wow,
a little bit questionable. But that was a pretty hilarious uphill miss either way.
I can hear the audience in the other room cheering behind the delay. Oh man.
Oh man.
That was the tornado. It's so close, just right there. That hurts, man. That really does. Wow. Well, Titan's still in great shape despite that whiffed kill. They will take out this tier 2 tower in the mid lane. That'll be the end of the outer towers for DT. They'll throw out the glyph, so they will try to make a hold. Maybe coming in for the deny. Nope, won't find it. Find a small initiation onto the void with Visage Familiars, but not enough to bring him down. DT won't force an engagement, but Net comes in onto XDD. Ice Blast flying through the epicenter, doing more than enough damage. That forces the shatter, and Spectre will fall. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, Air caught inside the Chronosphere. Out comes the Earth Splitter, more than enough to bring him down. It'll be 2-0 across the map. DT in big trouble. They'll move back to the base, and now Titan can just go for the high ground.
Yeah, this is probably going to end up being game really, really soon, because Chrono is just used, of course, but it always comes up constantly. It's going to be up again in 40 seconds, so they have to be careful in fighting this engagement, because as soon as the Night Stalker respawns, Chrono's back up.
Yep, and no glyph available here for DT. They burned it on that tier 2 tower, so this will be a free tier 3. Spectre and Night Stalker will not buy back here. I doubt they have the farm for it anyhow, but not interested in burning it. Racks are now exposed. BKB is also up on the Dark Seer, but it'll only do so much here to try and keep the racks alive. They'll start chipping away at the ranged. KYXY needs to be a little careful. We'll get stunned by a familiar. And, well, no fears here. He'll just get telekinesed. Out comes the Astral Spirit. And there you go. There's the time walk back. And now Titan will make their retreat.
Yeah, they're just going to get their lanes in better positioning. Finish up the Sheep Stick on Yamate, which he's very close to. He's about 100 gold away from it, so he's going to have it in just a moment. Void Ghost farms enemies Ancients. He's got 4,000 gold on him as well, so he can... I don't know what item he's going to go for. I think it can be anything. Yeah, not really much else happening. Net picks up a gem finally, so they're trying to just close the game pretty soon. They want to deward everything, just choke DT into their base.
Yeah.
DT also does have their own gem now as well, though, on the Visage.
Yeah, Titan just have a commanding lead here. They'll initiate onto air once again. Chronosphere. The Sunstrike will be on the mark, and more than enough damage to bring him down. KYXY gets another one up on the scoreboard, furthering his mega kill streak. 4,600 gold up on him. Titan are just commanding the map at this point, Fog. There's your Scythe of Ice up on the Invoker.
What would you like to see Void pick up here? What would be a fun item? I think Mjolnir. Why not?
Yeah, Mjolnir's fun. All that attack speed, lightning procs all over the place. You know, crit, maybe see some big numbers. Could be fun. Divine Rapier, thank you, gods. One of the better suggestions. Would be exciting indeed. You know.
I mean, why not? He's immortal, like I was saying before, so I think you can go with Rapier. It would be pretty sweet.
I think he could get away with it, honestly.
He might as well. Like, if he goes any Agi items, the Darkseer wall gets buffed, so.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Well, Titan taking the mid laner racks here. Summon's doing a lot of damage, and great minds think alike, as they say. There's the initiation, though. Vacuum into wall coming out from the Darkseer. In July, taking a lot of damage in return. He will be repelled. Stolen Chrono from the Rubik. Comes out onto net, but there is absolutely no follow-up. XDD looking to do some damage. He'll be repelled. KYXY all by his lonesome in the base. He is the only one on the high ground. That Time Walk coming in handy. Pops the BKB. There's a Chronosphere coming out. And Earth Splitter, Meatball, enough to finish off the Night Stalker. Epicenter flying through. Dead Visage and Rubik. Now DT on their last leg here. Fog, XDD, and in July, the lone defenders. They've already lost their mid lane of racks, and looks like Titan might be able to squeeze out a win here.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like DT should probably just call it GG. There's no coming back from something like this. Even if Titan throws multiple times, I don't think that they can win, no matter, even if the game goes to super late, because the potential of just the combo that Titan has is just ridiculous with Chronosphere always being up.
Yeah, and also this Spectre just so underfarmed now. He's working towards a Diffusal, I think. Could possibly be a Yasha, but has a Blade of Alacrity, and he's not hitting hard and not particularly tanky either. At this point, the Radiance Burn just kind of tickles. They don't really feel it in these team fights. Even Yamate looking towards an Egg Scepter here, so that would be a Butterfly coming out on the Void. So
it's not a Rapier.
Like that'll answer our question. Yeah, not the Rapier, unfortunately. Tears were had, but Butterfly, it's a little bit of fun as well. We've got one hanging on the wall in the lounge, so. Yeah,
not the most damage, giving him even more survivability, but I mean, why not? Like, whatever. Like I said, it doesn't really matter what item he goes for at this point. The game is...
Yeah, he can do what he wants.
Game is,
sure.
Yeah, game is pretty much over.
Game was good, as they say. Wow, this Spectre. What happened, XDD? Yeah, Sunstrike.
Yeah, he's just getting so much pressure on him constantly.
The global damage.
This global damage
absurd.
is ridiculous, yeah.
It really is. Especially now that the Axe is up on Ancient Apparition. You're not even safe in the well.
Yeah, and they can basically kill anybody with just an AA ult and a Sunstrike, except for the Spectre.
Nets had a pretty good game on the Sand King here. 5-4-11. He's been involved in more than half the kills and living up to the hype surrounding that player-hero combination. No Roche attempts quite yet. 34 minutes in. I think Titan could secure it if they were so inclined. DT just completely cornered in their base right now and would make breaking the high ground a little easier. It looks like Net will start gearing up to be in the right position. Needs to be a little careful against the Visage, though. If the Familiars fly overhead and he gets scouted out, could spell his demise, but they will just scout out Rush.
Don't step up for that creep wave, man.
Uh-oh.
Okay, good. He did
Net.
He heard me.
With the right idea here. Classic Net.
Yep. Well, now they're going to... Alright, KYXY he doesn't buy Boots of Travels. I thought he was going to travel up there, but he just buys a regular TP, and they're just going to go down toward that bottom lane and just seal the game.
Yep. Elder Titan harassing with the Astral Spirit here. Dreamy U on the high ground. Uh-oh. If Net gets vision, he could epicenter this. He's thinking about it. I'm not sure if the Astral Spirit scouted out the Rubik. Yeah. I don't think so, but no, he won't go for it. How YOLO is Net feeling right now?
I think he's feeling pretty good, so I wouldn't blame him if he just goes in.
And here we go, looking at the Radiant Vision here. You're seeing what Net is seeing. Has no clue the Rubik's there. Will now get some insight. Tier 3 tower taking a lot of damage. There is a glyph available, so they can potentially make a hold or at least one last stand. They will start chipping away at KYXY. They've got nothing to deal with this evasion.
He's taunting them.
Glyph comes out, yeah, just baiting, and they
canceling
know it.
That Chronosphere over and over, canceling his time walk, just putting them on edge.
Faking it, yeah. And now this tower will be fair game. We see a ping come out on Dreamy U. He'll get scouted out now. KYXY just popping the Mask of Madness, trying to bait it out. And XDD actually goes in, finds Net. Epicenter not channeled quite yet, but will stop him in his tracks, trying to catch them off guard. Hex comes out onto XDD, And there's your Chronosphere. Dreamy U, XDD, caught inside. It'll be a dead Rubik. It'll be a dead Spectre. First two to fall. Air on the run around the backside. BKB might keep him alive, but won't be able to do enough damage. Epicenter comes out on the lone Visage. Air will TP back home, but Tier 3 tower is fallen. Bottom racks are exposed and falling quickly. We are probably moments from a GG here. DT on their last leg, and I don't see any way they can turn it around. There you have it. XDD calls it.
Yep. I mean, DT had some nice movement and everything in the early game, but just overall, I think this was just an outdraft, honestly. Like,
yeah.
Elder Titan didn't even really... His spirit was there. It was nice to have, like, the aura and everything and the damage and the outspam, but it felt like it wasn't even necessary at that point. It was just, like, it was a Void and Invoker show. I mean, Net did find some nice kills, of course, with the Sanking, but overall, I mean, Yamete was so on point with those Sunstrikes.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, I don't know, a complete outdraft I would be a little more hesitant to say, but DT just didn't get enough done with the, with the Night Stalker in the mid lane and also the Vanguard on Spectre. When you go that Vanguard, you really have to make plays happen, and they just didn't have enough burst damage. We saw a few times where they didn't quite have enough damage to bring him down. And do you think that game would have been a lot different had Spectre just gone straight for the Relic? I
mean, maybe. It's a possibility, but at the same time, Titan was ready to bring aggression to non-stop. Like they rushed the Void for that Ag. So I mean, I don't even know if the Radiance would have been. And this is why I'm not really the biggest fan of Night Stalker. You need to accomplish way too much in the early game in order for him to snowball effectively. So they also didn't really have like any push on their side at all. So they weren't even, when they found some kills, they weren't even able to capitalize and try to take objectives afterwards. So they ended up falling behind quite heavily. Yeah, well, you called the draft, but unfortunately it just didn't work out for DT. But Titan continue on here, looking good. They'll have a rough opponent coming up next. It will be Alliance, so that will be an interesting one. How will Titan fare? We will see. They're now 1-1, Invictus Gaming 1-0, and that'll push DT 0-1. So things starting to get interesting here, Fogged. Yeah, I'm really excited to see Alliance versus these teams.
Yeah, myself included. So we'll have a pretty quick break coming up here. The next match, well, coming up next, they have to do the old switcheroo in the player boost at the LAN. So take some time, but probably 15 minutes or so, and then Alliance versus Titan will be coming up next here for WPCA. So I'm Zyori. This is Fog. Get at us both on Twitter at ZyoriTV, at FogDota. Thank you for joining us here on BTS. We'll be back.